The Euro 2016 draw was made yesterday on Sunday, 23rd of February 2014. Group I, interesting as well. Portugal, Denmark, Serbia, Armenia, and Albania. France are also in that group as well, but there is a bit of a nonsense to do with them because all Group I teams will play France home and away, but the results will not count towards qualification. France qualify automatically as hosts, but will play home and away matches against the 5 teams in Group I. But no points will be awarded. Pointless. So yeah, it is utterly pointless. We're going to get into why. Because from coming back a month to 23rd of January 2014, hosts of European Championships in 2016 will still qualify automatically, but may play in preliminary rounds to ensure they play worthwhile friendlies. The French have been lined up as the first host nation of a major competition to take part in the preliminary rounds, with European football's governing body expected to wade through changes to the regulations for its quadrennial showpiece at its executive committee meeting. Those changes would mean France joining UEFA's 53 other member nations in the qualifying draw in Nice, which obviously they have, and they've been drawn in Group I, which will see each country placed in one of 9 groups. 8 of those groups will contain 6 teams, and 1 would contain 5 prior to the addition of France to complete the lineup. However, as said, France qualify automatically as hosts, but even though they play each team in the group, Portugal, Denmark, Serbia, Armenia, and Albania, they play them. It's just annoying. The thing is, yeah. And just want to give a quick shout out to Elliot Waller, who said, "Que sera, whatever will be, will be. We're going to Wembley." Tell everyone on PT hello from me, please. Big shout out, Elliot. But it's one of them ones. See, once again, 1/3 of the moronic trinity strikes again. And a big shout out to Nathan Arsenal, who actually reminded us of this story actually by asking the question. Michel Platini. So the guy's a clown. Why if you want France to play worthwhile friendlies, put them in friendlies. Don't put them in the qualifying in matches that mean nothing. We're not even talking dead rubber matches that essentially mean nothing, like when you've won the league by 12 points and you're just like playing your last 2 games. We're not even talking that. These games legitimately, no points are going to be awarded to either side. I was saying to the Gman before we went on air, the fact is, if I was Portugal, Denmark, Serbia, Armenia, and Albania, I would just play kids. I would play kids. I would legitimately just play it as if it's a meaningless friendly. I'll just play a bunch of kids and make 11 subs at half time, because it's worth no points. The thing is, there's potentially a legal minefield here, because what happens if players get injured? Let's say, for instance, Cristiano Ronaldo. Let's say he gets injured whilst Portugal are playing France in this meaningless match. That's no points. What if UEFA come out and say, no, you have to play a full strength team? They play Cristiano Ronaldo and he gets injured and he's like a broken leg and he's out for a year. Then what? Then what are you gonna do, UEFA? What are you gonna do, Platini? What are you gonna have to say about that now, moron? That's the thing. Mike Harneman brings up a good point. Are suspensions gonna count as well? There you go. It's even more. If you get sent off against France in a game that's meaningless anyway, will the suspensions count? See, UEFA. See, you and your moronic decisions have just caused more problems. You've caused yourself a very easily avoidable headache, because these are just. It's stupid. I really don't get the point of this. I don't get the point of it. G-Man, do you wanna jump on this before we throw it out? Because I know Lee Godsafe wants to jump in.
Because I agree with you. I think it's crazy. I don't know why they put them in a group. I can understand what they've done, because obviously with the amount of teams that is the qualifying, there's going to be one group with 5 teams and the other group with how many? Well, 6. 6, yeah. So is that the case?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the case. So it's like, for instance, what they're just trying to do is a shabby way of getting easy friendlies without trying to make friendlies, like organized friendlies. Right? But rather than just saying, look, we've got friendly matches against these teams, and not allude to everyone that they're from the groups. They don't need to, because they can say it's a friendly match. They've like you said, they've made it also like they've integrated them into the group, and it just makes it a bit more confusing. It looks stupid, because it really does look stupid. You've got a team that's already qualified. You've got teams that are going to be playing meaningless matches whilst other teams are qualifying from the same group. Like, usually when teams are qualifying from a group round, they're all playing amongst in and out each other. Now you're going to have four teams that are playing, and then another team that's just playing France in a friendly.
Yeah.
So,
but that's the pointless thing. They're not going to be any points awarded for either game, the home or away. So there's no point in France even being in it.
It's just a friendly. It's a friendly, but I'm just saying, like, it's got nothing to do with the point. It's the fact, like, they just didn't need to integrate the two.
Yeah, they didn't need to put France in the group.
Yeah, they could have just kept it separate.
I mean, England have potentially got quite a good draw. I mean, Switzerland will give us a bit of a run, but I mean, Slovenia, Estonia, San Marino, Lithuania is not bad, but there's still potential banana skins there, especially in the form of Slovenia, who we faced in the World Cup in 2010. But as said, UEFA once again have dropped the ball and proven once again as they're part of my moronic trinity for a good reason. Stupid. Don't put them in the group. If their matches are meaningless, just spare yourself the aggro and don't put them in the group. It just makes no sense. I mean, you look at the qualifiers for Brazil 2014. I think it was Spain's group that had one less team. Fine, so be it. But don't put in a pointless team. And lest we forget that Michel Platini just so happens to be French and just so happens to be in charge of UEFA. Coincidence? I think not. No, that's all I can say about it.
Well, yeah. Just looking at the English group, though, it's like they've got a really good group. It's one that they should be tabletopping and winning. But my personal opinions, and maybe it's just the stigma of England, I think, maybe they might blitz the group. Yeah. But do poorly in the competition, because that's what happens. Yeah. Or they might struggle in the group, I just looking at the group with England sometimes, it's just like, that is an easy group, but it's never as easy as it should be. Like where you got your Hollands and your Germanys that just blitz their group, take 4 maximum points, and they're just getting through. But I don't know what anyone else thinks about that.
Well, we've actually got Lee Godsafe who wanted to jump in first. Lee, have at it, man. What's your view?
Yeah, I think England have got the easiest group this year to the last year, and France, I don't know why they should be in it, because if they should just play to try and get into the qualifiers. If they're going to be like that, they should just be in the qualifying round straight away. And that. So I think England have got a good chance so we'll see what happens.
I mean, it'd be one of them ones. I mean, if they were playing, it's the whole automatic qualification thing as well, because the fact that they're already qualified, if they were to be playing for points, it would be just as pointless, because they could place bottom of the group, but they've already qualified. So UEFA, there's just no point putting them in the group. Any way you slice it, there's no point even putting them in. If you want them to play friendlies, arrange friendlies for them. Let the France Football Federation arrange friendlies, just like everybody else does before World Cups. We got one against England, have got one against Denmark coming up soon. We arranged that. I don't get it. I'm sorry, it's laughable. It just really is laughable that the powers that be, and especially from a man who is one of the better players that has ever laced a pair of boots, he's a legitimate clown when it comes to decisions. It's mad. I mean, James Pegg, you wanted to jump in, and then we'll have Russ Vernon before we move on.
Yeah. So firstly, I'll just give my opinions of what I think about Platini. I mean, I've always been a bit of a skeptic around him. Like he goes to all these big events and all the big games, and he sits there with a smug smile on his face. And I've always thought that there's a bit of corruption going on. And I think this just finally is the tip of the iceberg for me. I think it kind of proves it.